Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Season 2 of The Punisher on Netflix, Episodes 3 and 4. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Like, they kept it going. Like, pretty much same pace, same pace. The second half of the fourth episode kind of got a little slow, but that's okay. That's okay. It also transitioned really well between the primary story because Episode 3 had to finish the story for the most part that we saw in episodes 1 and 2, you know? And then episode 4 was that seamless transition because they had a lot. The transition, of course, is from the original thing with like the bar and all that crazy stuff over to the Billy Russo story and therefore the hunt for Billy Russo. So that's, its own story there. And the slow but steady reintroduction of Billy Russo, Jigsaw, that pretty much did it. You know what I'm saying? Like it effortlessly woven right into each other. So I like the way that episode 3 finished off the what do you call it? Like the gunfight, the OK Corral, this place off in Michigan, and this little police precinct. What was that one movie? Assault on Precinct 13 by John Carpenter. They did a remake. I didn't watch it because F that remake. But the original one was great. And this one, this is similarly really good, man. You saw some real heroism there. You saw some real lazy, that one fat donut eating cop. I forget what his name was, O'Doul's or something like that. Anyway, just absolute jackass, man. Like you're just such a waste. I like the female cop because she was everything wrong, you know? But at least she could listen. At least she was smart enough to listen to reason. She had some good ideas. She had some bad ideas. It reminds me, like, when I used to go to Bible study, I think it was called Sunday School, good little Catholic boy. I remember, what do you have it? They used to talk about Peter, how Peter was the perfect in-betweener, so to speak. He was extremely devout, yet at the same time, he would also do some really dumb things once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like he was kind of a 50-50, you know? He was the Rock. He was absolutely the Rock. But he would go, I don't know, he'd just kind of go back and forth. He would, you'll come and you'll do everything you can to save me, but then before the cock crows 3 times, you know what I'm saying? When he would answer questions, half the times he'd be right, half the times he'd be wrong, but he would always answer the questions. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Jesus liked him. So anyway, what do you call that? It's kind of like with this, this. I can't remember her name. I thought I was gonna remember. I should have written it down. Anyway, she says, a couple points like, here, you know what? I look at her as being extremely conservative. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people on the left who are gonna be like, yeah, she is, and she's bad for that. There's a lot of people on the right who are gonna be like, yeah, she is, and she's smart for that. At the end of the day, whatever your opinion is, people like her live longer. Just saying. Think about that. You want to live forever as a coward or die really young as a hero? It's up to you. It's up to you. Mind you, I'm the dumbass who joined the military. So, what do you call it? Yeah, she had a lot of good things to say, a lot of bad things to say. And then when she started getting, I don't know if you can necessarily call her bad. Right away, we're going to say she's bad because obviously the Punisher's the hero. And anybody says something bad about the hero, you're right away going to say, well, that's the bad person. But the thing is, what she said wasn't so dumb. And still, the things that she said that could have been corrected were corrected, and she understood them. The second that Punisher said, yeah, how many times you had to fire your sidearm in a field? Yeah. So, hesitation is a son of a gun. Even if you're in the military for a long time, you could still hesitate. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not. A lot of times, we like to think it's out of confidence that we do what we're going to do. No, sometimes it's not necessarily out of fear if you hesitate. Sometimes it's out of intelligence. Sometimes it's out of concern, What was just recently, it was like 3 weeks ago, actually, my son's teacher said, we got a mouse in the field, and she couldn't say, will you go kill it? So I said, do you want me to go kill it? And she just kind of looked at me with a smile. I said, again, do you want me to kill it? She just kind of looked at me with a smile. I said, okay, you can't actually tell me to kill it. If you don't want me to kill it, tell me, please don't kill that poor defenseless innocent creature. And she just kept on smiling, like, I'll be right back. So I went over there and I ripped off a sign. It's out in the middle of a field, you know what I'm saying? And I'm getting ready to try and kill a thing, and all of a sudden I see it. I had my foot up and I'm ready to stomp on this thing, you know? And all of a sudden I realized, oh crap, here's the mistake I made. It's cute. Now, did I hesitate because it's cute? Hell no. I'll kill that thing in a heartbeat. The problem is, it's cute, and they're going to see me dragging its body away. See, when they said it's a rat, it was not a rat, it was a field mouse. It was and I was too dumb to actually think about that and recognize it's probably a field mouse. When somebody says rat, you're thinking of that short-haired, you know, the short, like the black, sleek, greasy with the pure skin tail with the little segmentations on it. Looks like an earthworm. They get small, you know, with a really long tail and the beady red eyes and all that stuff. Like, that's what you think when you hear rat. The problem is that I was too dumb to recognize that people don't always say what they actually mean. It was a field mouse. It was long, pretty brown hair, and it was cute. Like, you know, you couldn't see that the tail was just covered in fur. And the whole thing was, it was a cute little thing. And I didn't care. I would have still killed it all the same. But then all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, the second that I do kill this thing, I got to pick this thing up by the tail and walk it someplace to get rid of it. Pretty far away, because I don't need the smell and all that stuff coming back in, you know, near the field and the school. I got to walk so far away, so all these people are going to see me walking with this cute, adorable little rat, and all of a sudden I'm going to be the evil guy who just killed one of God's beautiful creatures. Oh, if it was an ugly creature, kill it dead, kill it with fire. But this was cute, and people would be like, oh, you're a monster. You know what I'm saying? So like I hesitated, and the thing got away. Yeah, I know, long story. Point is, hesitation is not always a bad thing. But the idea is, in this particular case, hesitation would have been a terrible thing. The whole point when she says, Sheriff, give me the word and I'll take him out. No, you won't. No, you won't. If you never killed somebody before, everybody likes to think they will. No, you won't. No, you won't. And if you're saying right now, oh no, but I would, no, you won't. And you're even worse off because you actually believe you'll do something that there's absolutely no way that you will do. It just, no, sorry. That's simply not the way that it works. It actually reminds me a lot of The Curse of Youth, which I think is perfect segue into the Rachel character, whose name is actually Amy, the 16-year-old girl. Turns out she is about 16. She we don't have her full story, but we do know that she was working with someone. I think her name was Trish. Wouldn't it be funny if it turned out that was Trish from you know, who's playing Hellcat over in Jessica Jones? Wouldn't that be funny? It's probably not. The point is, there's this girl who was taking care of these, I think it was just 6 kids in total. And it's kind of like, you know, a bad little orphanage thing. You know what I'm saying? I'll take care of you 6 little kids, but we're going to all take care of each other because I'm going to have you guys go and steal things and, you know, a little organized kid crime syndicate, you know? So these 6 kids, they go out and do things. And at one point, they got to go out and they got to spy on and take pictures of these men. I didn't fully understand this, but they're crying and hugging and apologizing to each other or something like that, which is weird. That could be a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? That could be like a South Park Nambla thing for all I know. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate any further on that. But it's something, and it's something that would probably embarrass a bunch of these. They're probably very rich and powerful guys because they said it was a regal ballroom and stuff like that. So they're probably trying to get this information so they can turn around and be like, oh, look, I got pictures of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, these are not good kids. But at the same time, they're still kids. They're still kids. A kid should never be prosecuted as an adult. Just never. That's a disgusting, horrible thing. What's the purpose of even having that law in the first place, you know? So anyway, she, it turns out that, you know, she was involved in something and she might not even know what herself. She might not even know what herself. But she had some, you know, she had that film. This was probably their thing. You remember they showed that couple, the guy and the girl, you know? The old man, the old woman who were at the church. And man, that preacher dude, whoa, that preacher, he sounded just like a freaking, you know, Bible Gate, what do you call it, radio announcer host type. You know, he sounded like his voice was coming right out the radio. I'm like, anybody ever listen to those old church? They still exist. I'm sure they do. You listen to those church radio programs on the AM dial. Like, what the frick, man? Oh, wow. So anyway, yeah, dude, she's involved in something, and she's probably not even entirely sure what it is. Oh, she knows she did some wrong things. She knows that she's a bad person or whatever. But she might not know exactly what, and she almost assuredly does not know exactly what was going down at that party. But it involved those two old people who turned around and went back to that church, which was probably in Pennsylvania. I don't know if they said or not, but if they didn't say, I'm going to say it's in Pennsylvania. Ain't nothing on Pennsylvanians. It's because I know who this John Pilgrim guy is. He's actually Mennonite. And anybody who read the first volume of the Punisher Max series, yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Mennonite was a ridiculously badass dude who was pretty much word for word exactly like this guy. He wanted to get with a girl named Amy instead of Rachel. And I don't remember if they actually had any kids together. I think he had one kid, and here he had two kids. But it's the exact same. I don't know why they didn't just call him Mennonite and just, do all this stuff. Maybe it's because it was just, that's too specific. It might be. Either way, it's funny. That's Jason Aaron, who's currently writing Thor and the Avengers. Jason Aaron wrote those comic books. Yes, I went back and I looked. I don't memorize all that stuff. But I did remember it was Mennonite, and I just had to look the guy up and whatnot. So, Volume 1, Issue number 3, if you choose to have Mennonite's first appearance, which is technically John Pilgrim. John Pilgrim himself does not actually appear in the comic books. There's only one Pilgrim character, and that's definitely not him. Definitely not him. That's an alien. So, what do you call it? They, I like how they had this, that first story was just so amazing. It was so excellent to me in every way imaginable. They didn't, against their better judgment, they decided to let the Punisher go out and do his punishment thing. And the way that he takes care of it is perfect. He just goes out. These mercenaries were dumb. They were too confident in themselves. First off, there's the one fat one, which I thought that's just funny. But they run around, or he runs around them, and they were not set up to know each other's. See, as a soldier, and I'm sure they know this as mercenaries also. But the way that I'm looking at it in my headcanon is, although as soldiers we're supposed to know our line of fire. That's crucial. We always have a line of fire. Even if we're running from place to place, you learn quickly to establish a line of fire. I'm allowed to fire from here to here. Now, obviously, if you see an enemy coming up behind you, you're going to turn around, you're going to take a shot at them. But the point is, when you're just in general firing, whether it's firing for cover, firing on the move, suppressive fire, whatever kind of fire you're trying to lay down, even if it's targeting, you're going to attempt to aim just in these two specific spots, a 45-degree angle, whatever it is. You guys will all specify it, and you'll know exactly where each other is, and so this way, the line of fire, there's no chance of you hitting one of your friends. And if you do your line of fire correctly, there's no way that an enemy can get past your fire point. All right, you will actually know, I can't remember exactly what that line is called, but there's a line where all of the rifles, for the most part, meet. There's a kill zone in there where anybody who comes after you, this is one of those kind of things where a squad, a well-trained squad, which is only like 8 to 10 people, can take out a platoon easily, which is, 40, yeah, easily 40 people. Easily 40 people. You know what I'm saying? Can take these guys out. Why? Because these guys are moving on you and you're defending. Defending is always easier, and you got the line of fire. So as long as you're not, firing, because when you're moving around like that, and if everybody's moving around like that, if just one person's moving like that, there's one space that is not being covered, that is not qualified as a kill zone. So we always establish our line of fire. Why didn't they do that? In my headcanon, it's because they weren't expecting anybody to come out after them. It just didn't make sense to them. So if they hear something, behind them, it's like, oh, that's John Pilgrim, Mennonite, or that's one of the other guys, or gals, whatever, running around here to there, here to there. That's all, that's happening. They're just trying to find a better point. The boss is telling them where to go. My job is just stay here and keep on firing at this one target right here. So, all of a sudden they get a bullet in the head. Oh, now I understand. Plus, did you notice that the Punisher kept on firing while they were firing? So if this guy's, if he's waiting, Punisher will just stand there and wait. And then once he goes, the second he does that, Punisher right back at him. So, you know, it's like, and this guy goes down. So that was perfect. This way the noise doesn't necessarily interfere with each other. The whole entire thing was done so expertly. I'm just looking like, man, I miss these training exercises because they were great. You know what I'm saying? We used to drill them. Oh, God, we used to drill the hell out of them. Anyway, all of it was great. I loved at the end how the sheriff is, he's talking to, what the hell's her name? Maduri? I think her name is Maduro, something like that. She's like, you know, I need to, you know, take him with me and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, and the sheriff is sitting down next to him. And it's like, listen, you're a Department of Homeland Security girl. She's talking about, you know, you got to go with her. But I need you to understand something. And I'm thinking he's going to say something stupid like, dude, this guy just saved your life, saved your city. Come on now. And he says, you know that there is a scenario, there is an option for you to leave without her. That just, I just want to go up and give that sheriff a hug, man. That was great. No, why is that good? Because it's obviously against the law. And I do believe in following the law. Here's the thing. I don't believe in following the letter of the law. I believe in following the spirit of the law. I don't think that people should get arrested for jaywalking. I don't think that they should get in trouble. I don't think they should get stopped for jaywalking. Is it dangerous? In some places, yes. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a four-way intersection that's really busy in a city, you know, like I live in. I think it's safer to cross in the middle of the highway. I'm watching, and I only have to watch one way. I don't have to watch 4 different streets and also watch the lights and the arrows and all this other stuff to see what's going on. No, that's just simply to make it easier for police and stuff like that. No. I'd rather go in the middle of the highway, yes, the highway, and pay attention. Oh, there are no cars coming now. I can safely cross these 3 lanes of traffic and get to the medium and make sure there is actually a medium, and then just wait there and only look in one direction, but this time this way to see if there be, you know what I'm saying? So like that's the difference between the letter of the law, which is rigid and stupid, and then there's the spirit of the law, which is just, let's all just be good. Let's all just try not to hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get a dumb kid who's running across the street and getting himself in trouble. Got yourself killed. That sucks. Counseling for this person who accidentally hit you, and you're probably going to have a closed casket funeral. Hey, man, people are allowed to die. People are allowed to die. And that's what usually happens to the dumb ones. Sometimes they have to weed themselves out. Now, this actually brings me back to Amy, because she's a dumb little kid. But at the end of the day, how many people have found a non-dumb little kid? She's 16 years old. She's dumber than a brick, because that's what 16-year-olds are for the most part. If you're 16, you're watching this, yes, you're dumb as a brick. I know this because when I was 16, I was dumb as a brick. I used to think I knew everything. I used to think I knew everything. I used to think I could beat everybody up. I used to think I was smarter than everybody. I used to think I was wiser than everybody. That was always a fun one. I used to think I knew everything and couldn't nobody tell me nothing. And man, I did not get smarter for it. Did not get smarter for it. And I know all the reasons why it happens, and they're all true. You know what I'm saying? You start to get an influx of information. You start to realize that your parents and your teachers and all these people around you are fallible, and they've got really nasty temperaments, and they're a bunch of jackasses, and you're like, screw all of you, I can take care of myself. And no, you can't. No, you can't. Hey, if you grow out in the freaking what do you call it? A more open environment, like let's say down south or something like that, you know, if you know how to handle a gun, you know how to go out and hunt, you know how to build yourself a shelter, which there are very few people left in this country or Canada or America who actually know how to do that. Yeah, sure. Maybe you really could take care of yourself. But for the most part, yeah, no. Your brain isn't finished developing until you're 25 years old. And that's when you're actually able to start learning in a more critical way, as opposed to just questioning everything, you know? What do you call it? So of course, here's this stupid 16-year-old who's, you know, questioning everything the Punisher does, but she doesn't know that he's the Punisher. She never opened her. She thinks to herself, I saw my friends killed in front of me, and I had to hide and run, and all these bad things were happening to me, and you all chose to be in the positions that you're in and the situations that you're in. You all chose to look out for me. I just want to try and run for myself because I think that I can take care of myself. And no, you'd be dead on the side of the highway 16 times into next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But if all these different people didn't volunteer to try and save your stupid ass. But that's the way that it works. And that goes with all 16-year-olds, even when all of us were 16. Some of you are probably younger than 16. Yeah, this is what you got to look forward to. Being really, really stupid. That's okay. It'll pass. as long as you don't pass away in the process. Those things happen too. So the point is, she was dumb. So I can't really blame her for all this. I can't blame her for all that stuff. When she finally realized, she was smart enough to recognize, oh crap, you're the Punisher. Now, granted, yes, she knows his individual story, but she did know that he was a Marine, right? She did know that he was a soldier, right? And he knows how to handle himself. He took out 13 people by himself, and she watched it happen. All right? She watched all of this crazy stuff happen. He knows how to take care of himself. He's fitness from beginning to end. And you'd figure that she would understand that he's got some sense of loss. Unfortunately, that's simply not the way the 16-year-old mind works. What you see is what you understand, or at least you think. What you perceive is what you understand. And 16-year-olds, on average, don't know how to look for everything. They don't know how to look and observe and actually pick out fine, details and minutia to actually find a greater understanding. They don't know how to walk a mile in another person's moccasins. Probably can't even spell moccasins, because at the end of the day, 16-year-olds are jackasses. This dumb little girl was a jackass. But she showed that she can learn. She showed that she actually does have empathy. She does have some kind of empathy for, oh my God, like you actually lost your family and then you took them all out. How did that make you feel? Because it's something that she can relate to all of a sudden. All of a sudden now, he could have said whatever and she wouldn't have believed him. But finding the stuff out on her own, this is something that she can believe, something that she can understand. I liked that. I really did. They pulled a lot with Billy Russo also, the whole Jigsaw thing. Like all of a sudden they're trying to make him relatable. He was molested as a child by that creepy guy who he put a freaking, I don't know what it was that he put in his chest, but he put it in his chest and that dude was just laying there looking at the camera like, does this look like I'm dead? Yeah, dude, you look dead. I did mention the acting in all this was really great, right? That includes you. You look dead. This guy, like he was there obviously to try and bring some kind of sympathy to Billy Russo. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Billy Russo, the devil. All right. He's playing Jigsaw. He's straight up the devil. All right. He's not the devil sitting on your shoulder. No, he's the devil stabbing your ass in the pitchfork, trying to get you into the fire because that's what devils do. So don't fall for it. It's just simply a ruse to try and make you believe that Billy Russo is a good guy. I totally just came up with that on my own. You're probably like, came up with what? Yeah, 16-year-olds. The point where I'm trying to go with this is, being molested as a child, especially as a guy, is something that's extremely moving and makes you want to, feel bad for a human being, for a guy. Why do I say for a guy especially? Because unfortunately, that's something that everybody can relate to. A girl being molested as a child, usually girls don't say anything, boys don't say anything, whatever, but you find out a girl got molested as a child, oh my God. But a boy got, molested as a child, it's all of a sudden like, oh, damn, no, like, I don't know, like, can he ever come back from it? Can he ever come back from it? Like, that'd be terrible. That'd be absolutely horrible, along those lines. Just think about it in our society. All these cases that we hear of like Bill Cosby's and Harvey Weinstein's and all those freaking senators and just who have you, saying molesting little girls. It's like, oh man, it's messed up. One girl gets molested when she's drunk by a college guy. Judge goes and says, well, he had like a couple minutes of fun. And he's supposed to spend a lifetime in jail. He's got high hopes. I'm just going to give him like probation and stuff like that. They gave him a really light sentence. Yeah, the judge was gotten rid of, but the sentence still held. You know what I'm saying? And that was the sentiment. And a lot of people can relate with that. Thing is, one thing happens, something happens to this kid, this little boy by Kevin Spacey. Like, dude, that guy went down quick, didn't he? That was, everybody came down on Kevin Spacey. He got pulled off his show. Like, the social thing happened to him immediately. After that, like, he's going to be facing some jail time. And, like, dude's not, he's not in good shape right now. He's not in good shape. Meanwhile, you still got people like freaking Woody Harrelson. Sorry, Woody. Woody Allen. You know what I'm saying? And who's that one jackass who fled the country? You know what I'm talking about. Like you got people. So like what I'm saying is, happens to little girls. You're lucky if anybody cares. You're lucky if anybody cares. You can still become a Supreme Court justice. You know what I'm saying? Just it is what it is. And people talk about, her story wasn't very believable. And him acting like a child was. He's supposed to be a Supreme Court justice and act impartially, and he's sitting up there, I like beer. I like beer. It's a witch hunt. It's ruining my family. Dude, what? I just saw 16 different emotions in a heartbeat. And, people talking about, women are so emotional. So is that a bitch? Because it looks like a bitch to me. The point is, when it happens to a guy, if it came out that he did something to a guy, if it came out that any of these people did something to a guy, it would have taken 30 years to go after freaking Bill Cosby. That would happen in a heartbeat. So this is what I'm saying. They do this and say Billy Russo was messed up as a child, and all of a sudden, oh, this poor kid. Don't believe the hype. You have Flavor Flav in the background going, yeah, because that's the way it works. All right? I'm loving how realistic this TV show is. Like, I can't believe it's this grounded in reality. It's wild. It's wild. All right? Yeah, all the political discourse aside, sorry, that's just what I do. If you don't like it, turn the channel. There's other people doing reviews. I do this a lot. My idea of this is that this is so rooted in reality. There's so many different ways for us to take from different news articles and clippings and segments and videos and memes from the news world all over, that we could actually put together our own version of the Punisher story using all sorts of different other characters based on real things that have happened recently in the news. It's almost like it was planned that way. Things that make you go, So, yeah, on to episode 5 and 6 now. Loving this. Can you tell? Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.